Songs for Satan is the fifth full-length album from Dopelord, and this is a Warsaw, Poland-based stoner doom metal band. And I would say that there is some sludge in their sound as well. There are some aggressive vocals and some, very blown out fuzzy guitar tones in here as also. And that isn't that is where they started, but it also isn't, because the original sound of this band had much more of a heavy rock slash traditional doom metal bent to it. And if you go back, yes, it was a stoner band, and yes, they sang about weed, but well, they still are, and they still do. But the first couple of records weren't such a serious thing as you would expect. And that doesn't mean they weren't professional, but it was a different sound that developed over time. And once they'd sort of made the transition into the third record, that's when they started to seem to take it more seriously. The artwork got better. The everything kind of came together for a more professional record, and they started working with Satanic Audio. It's this great production company that works with a wide variety of bands. And uh, what we find is not only did their sound get huge and sort of reached a world class notice, but their songwriting got better. And we saw them moving towards sludge and aggression on that third record, and it sort of kind of made the name for the band that more people were talking about them, not only for their huge sound, but for what they were doing. So that's kind of when I noticed them, but it wasn't until Sign of the Devil where I was like, well, hey, this band is on to something. It was a tuneful record. It had a lot of catchier pieces, and they released it like right at the wrong time during the very start of the pandemic. So a lot of people might have missed that these guys had not only stepped up their songwriting, but the range of their vocals. And so all of this has kind of been brewing for a while, and they really reached their this new highest peak and this leap forward with this record. And I think Songs for Satan is by far their most tuneful, memorable, and concise record in terms of just all killer material. So let's cut to a song here that is undeniably catchy.
It's the night of the witch. Coven says you're caught on fire. It's the night of the witch. Let go.
So the band's previous mini LP, Reality Dagger, which I'd reviewed back in 2021, had a couple of good hints to where their songwriting was going, but also the vocalist bassist's cleaner tone had changed a little bit. Now they still have the one of their guitarists also sings in sort of the sludgier, rasped tone here and there, but they've reserved most of the vocals here for the bassist vocalist. And if you remember the opener from their 2020 album, uh, that songwriting is reflected throughout most of this record, and you find that it's not exactly, they're not writing ghost songs, but these are very catchy, sort of heavy rock songs written in that a very straightforward manner that hits the chorus. It goes through a couple of verses and repeats that chorus a couple of times, but it isn't mindless, and there is a lot of tact involved to changes in the songs and the way that they reference progressions and move through them with just a lot of finesse. And the sound of the record is huge, and we were expecting that. I think that most people would, but it is sludge heavy. It's very clean in its readability, but it is just huge and just impressive in terms of the clarity of that fidelity. Um, Particularly just the definition of the bass in the space, and the general guitar tone is just enormous without overtaking the vocals, which is a feat in and of itself. So otherwise, the finesse of the songwriting is yours to discover. It's very simple, but it's very effective, and it doesn't quite touch upon grunge necessarily, but there is a catchiness to it that it just feels like it stands out so much in the number of stoner doom metal records that I pick up and try. And this really stood out. I already kind of liked this band quite a bit for their last couple records, but this is the one that was like, all right, well, it's a huge record, and every song hits. And I guess that's about as deep as I need to get. I was stuck on this record for a long time. Like I even stalled the review for a few days so I could listen to it a few more and like really put in the time with it, because I just loved it. I thought it's just a great record, very tuneful. The art is great. The the sound is, everything is just on point with this record. And what remains to be seen is it going to stick with me over time? So we'll get there over the course of the rest of the year and see how it goes. But all signs are pointing to this being one of my favorite kind of stoner doom type records of the year. So it's a very high recommendation for me. Go ahead and check it out when it releases tomorrow, this Friday, and read the review if you want more of my thoughts in depth.